Good morning, everybody. How are my lovelies? I am back doing an album share of my UK trip. This is a project that I did for my friend and her husband when we went to the England and Paris back in 2010. And I know my channel has been a little bit more quieter than usual. You know, that I took a trip to Idaho, then I came back, and I was kind of in a rut. I'm going to be honest with you, and kind of a little creative block. I did create a layout just recently, and then I really kind of focused on, anytime I'm on a creative block, I remove myself from my own projects and kind of work on other people's, because I do have 3 albums I'm trying to create for friends. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the album that I created using QVC albums. I don't ever get rid of anything because these make perfect gifts, because I'm creating such a small project. And with Postbound, you can't really have a whole lot of dimension and a lot of albums like you can with a 3-ring binder. So these make the perfect gift. I already took out all the papers, or not the papers, the layouts of the album. So this is all blank for you guys. Showing you now what I have left. I love these. They're rubber like alphabets, and I used to have them in gold when Studio Calico came out with them, and then I ordered these. And so I brought these out, and I thought they had no more stickiness to them. So they are a pain to add glue to the letters. And because of that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to use these up as much as I can. I realized I have 3 packages of these things. I hardly ever do that, but I must have loved them so much that I bought 3 packages. So I was a little disappointed because I thought, woohoo, I used up almost a whole package. So yeah, this is all that I have left of this. And I did use a few letters in this second package, but not much. All right, so then I had used mostly, I'm using paper from about 16 years ago. This is the Basic Gray. This was released back in 2005. It came with 18 sheets. I literally have only a few of the pattern pieces of scraps left. I also purchased back then, there was a company, an online scrapbooking store, where they also included a total of, I think it was 20 cardstock papers. So it was like 2 of every color. And I think it was like, you get 2 of, was it? No, it couldn't have been 10 colors. Maybe it was 18. I don't remember. But anyways, it's basically 2 colors of every color that they provided. And I believe that was a total of 18 papers. And this is all that I have left as far as the cardstock. Looking through my entire scrapbooking room, I came across this paper. This paper is really old. It was from QVC, came with like papers and embellishments and stickers. It had a lot of travel stuff in there, so I incorporated a lot of this stuff into her album as well. And it's so funny because when I do that, it doesn't matter how old something is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, but I like it myself and I don't really want to use it. But I had to like break away because there was so much of it in here that I could even incorporate it into my album when I make my UK album. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, some of these layouts are already gonna be, you've probably already seen, because I did an album share of the first half that I did, but I'm gonna go over it all over it again. And one second, let me just drink some of my coffee. Okay, so this was this a layout that I did. I can't even talk this morning, it's too early. That I did probably 8 or 9 years ago. So I just kept it. I don't care how old something might, whether it's my style now, because I like to see how my style has changed a bit. So I saw this, I know this was definitely like a sketch, and I just mimicked the sketch. And this was when we were planning, kind of like finishing up all of the plans and itinerary of our 2-week trip out there. This is us at the airport. This is using Basic Gray. I think this was called Fresh and Funky. This was also back in 2005, where I didn't really have a whole lot of embellishment, so I had to create some of my own using some a lot of die cuts, punches. So if you have older product that just didn't really have embellishments made for it back then, that is a definite one way to go, is just using your punches, using your die cuts to, or even like a Cricut or a Silhouette machine to create some embellishments for your layouts. And that's what I did here. All right, so here's another one. These are some tags that used to come in with the Basic Gray, and then I just added some wood veneers and some flair. Found some really old stickers that I actually had to throw away. There's only a couple that I could salvage, and so I just used it for when I could. And then I just framed this out. And one way to kind of stretch my stash as well is I would just gut the center if I was only using this as a frame. That's something I do quite often for my layouts. Here's another one. I just used some old stickers. There was somebody standing here, and he had like shredded jeans and like bright pink like leggings underneath, and it was so distracting, but I couldn't cut him out, so all I did was just put a sticker over him, and then that was good. So then it's less distracting. It ended up working out perfect because the color tones matched perfectly with this paper. Okay, so again, like I said, I just use a lot of die cuts that I had just to create embellishments. Here's another one of their Basic Gray tags that comes with their collection. And then I just used my Quick Cuts dies to create letters. Here's another one that we did of the afternoon tea, again, using Quick Cuts dies. I had a duplicate of these chipboard pieces, so I wanted to include those as well. Just really simple pages to focus mostly on the photos. I don't know if she's going to journal, but she definitely has journaling spots where she can. I left that up to her because she definitely is a writer, so and loves to journal, and I allowed, you know, a lot of space for that for her. All right, boys being boys. Gosh, this was 11 years ago. So my husband and I, we were back in our early 30s when we went here, to rewind time again. Okay, and then this is on our way to Paris. And again, just taking any of the, you know, papers that I would rip up, I would just do the opposite for the next page. Just kind of stretching this out. I probably used a total of 45 papers for this, which is great because this is 45 papers out of my stash. I used up an album, I'm giving it away, and that is what I'm trying to do, is just to use up what I have. All right, using Quick Cuts dies, again, I grabbed all the Quick Cuts dies that I had to try to create embellishments for these layouts as well. Also use stamping. Stamping is another great addition if you don't have a lot of, you know, embellishments, again, with a collection. And most collections now, actually probably 100% of collections, it comes with a ton of embellishments, stickers, die cuts. But back in this day, there wasn't any of that. It was just paper. So, but I don't want to waste that paper because the paper is still very beautiful to me. And in fact, I absolutely loved the paper that I picked for our trip, that I'm thinking about using it for mine as well. And then this is that Quick Cuts, not Quick Cuts, QVC, like I said, embellishments where it came with papers and stickers and you know, just all kinds of goodies. And this is what I kind of used to, because the colors went really well. This is also a frame that I thought it was so stinking cute, that I just thought, you know, this is perfect for framing out the photo. All right, using again my die cuts, using some Jolie stickers that I had, using my Quick Cuts. And then I think this was the last page that I did this because it just is very time consuming. Even though I love the look of it, I was just like, this is like too much trying to use it for most of the layouts. So then again, just, you know, tearing up paper, using it to layer. And then I started noticing that I was, instead of doing one photo for every layout, I was like, okay, I need to start actually incorporating each event and do multiple photos on one layout just to make it go a lot faster and for me to complete this album board quicker. So this was another one that I did, again, using these die cuts that I had. I grabbed everything and anything that I think could possibly work just to add, you know, some embellishments to the page. I did some tags, I used some brads. Here's where I started using that alphabet sticker that I said was such a pain because I had to, and you can see a little bit of the glue, re-glue everything. So that frustrates me when the glue kind of goes away, because I think to myself, if it's in a package and the glue's already drying up, it's going to do the same thing for an album. So, you know, that's why I absolutely love, you know, tacky glue. It will stay on there forever. All right, so this is really special to me because of the fact that his father is no longer with us, and he was an incredible man. So I made sure the 2 photos that I had, that I blew it up to be 8.5 by 11, and really just used that to focus for this actual layout. So he got his own layout, and it was just really special. So, all right, again, you know, I'm incorporating all of our pictures. I was trying to get more in there versus having just one, you know, photo to a layout, and then trying to, another reason why I started switching it up to where I was adding multiple photos is because with Postbound, like I said, you can only get so many pages in, and that's it. And this was at max capacity. I really could not add any more layouts to this album. Here's again from the QVC, that package of papers and embellishments. This is what I was talking about. Super cute. It was like the definition of traveling. It was a sticker sheet, and I used quite a few of them because they were so adorable. And again, this is like over 20 years old. This is when I first started scrapbooking and I started buying everything from QVC. As you could tell, I used up quite a bit for her album to create embellishments. And then I even used a couple of these tags, some of these leaves in here, and then a ton of these. This was the frames for the photos that I used as well. Sorry if that made too much noise for you guys. All right, so then moving on. Okay, this is using up the sticker sheets that come with the basic gray. I don't know why I didn't use more of those, because look at how much I still had left. And I even have 2 of the E's, so these go in here. So I still have a ton, but again, I kind of forgot about this, and then I started focusing on those copper letters. So, oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, hello from the other, or not from the other side, from the countryside. It reminded me of that Adele song, and so I thought that would be a cute title. That's kind of what popped in my head. All right, so again, using up those stickers that came with that QVC, and again, same with the actual frames for the photos. And even though this is, you know, the great outdoors, we normally typically think hiking or nature, but the great outdoors could look so many different ways for where you live. It doesn't have to be a hiking the great outdoors. I mean, the great outdoors could be the coast. I live next to the coast, so 99% of the time, that's the great outdoors for me, is I'm outside by the beach. So this was the countryside. This was very beautiful. So I put the great outdoors right there. Memories, again, using those stickers that came with that QVC. I thought that was super cute. Started using a lot of stapling. I just kind of flip over the Tim Holtz, and it kind of goes like this. And it's not perfect. There was one point where it did tear, not on this layout, but on another layout. But in order to get it to where if you want to get your staples anywhere, you have to flip this over. And I'll show you really quick here. No, how's it? Flip this over. Aha. This goes, and then you put this back, and then you have to have something such as a rubber mat or a foam to go underneath, and then underneath your layout, and then you staple wherever you want. Now, the only problem is when you do that, these staples are straight. So you do have to flip it over like I did. And I just take something flat and I have to flatten them down, and they're not perfect. You know, I try to do my best, and then I just add washi tape to protect the layout. So just a little trick until Tim Holtz comes out, which many people have mentioned they wish they have a longer one to where they could go anywhere. And I actually would buy that versus doing what I do, because like I said, this is not perfect. They're not completely bent in perfectly, but it gets the job done. So, right. Then we have this Bodiam Castle, and again, just using those stickers, you know, just to dress up a little bit of the sticker or the layout. You know, here's those leaves that I was talking about. I did have to adhere and sorry, this was bugging me. I did have to, oh, maybe now it's flat. Okay, whatever. I did have to apply glue, gosh, I need glasses, to the stickers, because again, you can see that it was starting to not stick. I mean, it was losing its stickiness, so I just did that. It's not a big deal. Here's another one of the 8.5 by 11 of his father. I knew that he was really going to appreciate that. Like I said, he's no longer with us, and so I just thought this was extra special. All right, so here's where I was coming down to my scraps. So I was really kind of just putting paper together to get the whole 12 by 12 and just using up what I got. Here's where I said I tore a little bit when I was trying to do the staples. So I just took them out and then applied tape to bring it back up the paper, and it is what it is. And then I did add some staples over here, repositioned glue, you know, again, trying to use up as many letters as I possibly could with creating titles, and just kind of simple embellishments, really focusing more on the photos. Now this is something that I'm going to have her type up, where it was like the top 5 of why, like for me, I know it'd be like laughter, stories, jokes, and just, you know, of the top like 5 of what made this trip so amazing. So I'm leaving that up to her. All right, again, just using up all the scraps that I had, using up those stickers just to create other embellishments to it. This is a page layout dedicated to them. And then there's this. And then again, here's that paper that I was telling you, those frames that were in that QVC kit. This was something that I was like, okay, this is my last 12 by 12 paper. I have all these scraps, and what can I possibly do? Like what can I create with it? And so I try to use up as much as I can as far as the scraps to create this layout. And then I use some of those stickers, a little bit of stamping. And then I ended up using some of the paper to kind of incorporate the stuff that I did use from that QVC collection, some of the 12 by 12 paper, because there was just going to be 2. So a very simple page. Again, I'm leaving it up to them to journal. I don't ever journal. Whenever I make an album for somebody, I never journal on their pages, because I feel that those are my words, and that might not be how they want to tell their story. So I leave it up to them. And then this is the final, ooh, I gotta add some glue to that. So here is the final layout of us in the garden. And so again, just using some of that paper. This is something that, it's really funny because this is kind of already printed on the paper, so it makes it nice and flat, doesn't add any dimension, but I am starting to see a lot of people create their own with their own fibers, which is pretty amazing that it's coming back. So that is my 2010 UK trip album for my friend. I'm actually going to be bringing this over to her probably within the next couple of days. So I'm super excited to use. It was a total of 47 papers. and get them out of my stash, get them into an album, and then hand them off to a gift, which this is why I love doing gifts. I have so much paper that I will probably never use in my lifetime. So this is a great way for me to use up stuff. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that album share, and you all have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.